Welcome back to the More You podcast, recorded at One More Studios. I'm Marcella Zanetti, your host, and I'm brought back here today with a very special guest. You know her, you love her, the doyen of hyperrealism. She makes sculptures that make you ask yourself, hold on, is this real? Is that a real person? You guys, she is the sweetest and most talented artist. We had so much fun in our last episode together. We had to come back for round two. So I introduce you, the amazing Carole Feuerman. How are you today?
Hi, Marcella. It's so good to be back. So today I have really exciting news. I've been working on this for a couple of years, and finally, my hyperrealist life and legacy, my new autobiography, just came out, and this is the first proof. So I can now describe some of the things that happened in my life.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember last time we were together, we briefly talked about you writing it, and now the day is finally here. We're so excited, and we're here to talk about what you talk about in the book. You know, it's on the market everywhere for everyone to pick up a copy and learn about your interesting life, both personally and a renowned figure in the art world. So we're going to get into that today. Oh, and by the way, did I mention, we are in One More Studios here in Brooklyn, and Carole's actually the founder of this wonderful studio. So I just had to throw that in there. But anyways, let's get into it. First question is, why don't you just go ahead and tell us about the book? You know, what led you to writing your autobiography at this point in your career? What inspired you, you know?
That's a very good question. What inspired me? Well, I have had the most remarkable life, a very unusual life that most people don't have. And for the first, actually 50 years of my life, I had a very hard time. I had a hard time with my family. I had a hard time with my marriage. I had a hard time with my career. And it seemed that nothing was going my way. And then after I was 50, my last book called 50 Years, after I was 50, everything started going my way. And I had studied astrology, and it was told to me, and through astrology, that it would take 50 years for things to go my way. And I've had the most remarkable experiences that I wanted to share, and lessons that I learned that I want to share.
That's awesome. Yeah, guys, this book gets deep about the trials and tribulations she went through as a child. Emerging as a woman artist at the time, women were not widely accepted as artists, as I understand, especially in hyperrealism. So why don't you share the first beginning paragraph of your book, so maybe for the audience to get a little feel for what's going on, what's to come for this book.
So I'll read you from chapter 1, called In the Beginning. Looking back on my life events as an autobiographer, I am filled with certain feelings that can't exactly be placed into words. I often imagine what my reaction would have been like the moment that I opened my eyes for the first time. Had I been devoured by my mother? Had I been devoured by my wonder? Or was I scared for what was to come next? In many ways, being born is not so different from creating a sculpture. You simply have to go where your heart takes you. If anything, that's the most important lesson that I can share with you and that I've learned from all my years as an artist, a mother, and a wife.
Oh, that's so wonderful. You guys, I'm so excited to read this book.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It sounds amazing already. That first paragraph, you could really get a feel for what's to come. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's talk more about it. What was your favorite part of the book? You know, I'm curious, like, what did you enjoy most writing?
Well, of course I enjoyed sharing the good times. Mm-hmm. But I will say that another thing I enjoyed is I had to come up with ways to get to those times, and little tricks that I learned. One thing I have is this imaginary ladder. where I would place people on the ladder, and it's in my mind. So if somebody said something I didn't like or hurt me, they'd go down like one prong, and I felt good about that because I didn't have to. I didn't have to be confrontational, but in my mind, they got what they deserve. Yeah. But another thing, I had this epiphany one day. I was on a plane traveling to the West Coast, and I was thinking, my goodness, every time you solve one thing, something else happens. And maybe that's what life is about. Life is about a series of things, a series of problems, a series of lessons that you learn, and a series of just challenges. And once you've crossed one bridge, there's always another one. And there's a reason for everyone. And, like you learn the best by making a mistake. Those are the best lessons. So I wanted to share that with people, and I wanted to share my experiences at the White House, sitting in Sweden with the King and Queen, having amazing boyfriends in my life, having an amazing husband, an amazing family, amazing friends. Richie Nuzalese, who started One More Studios with me, he's so talented in every way, and there are things I need to share with the people and the public.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I'm sure the good times were probably the best and most pleasant things to write about. But were there any other areas that were harder to write about than others? Now that we spoke about the good stuff, you do talk a lot about the struggles you went through. Maybe it brought you back to a time that wasn't so good for you, but it was still essential for you to write about, because of the nature of your story and how you grew, like you said.
Well, nostalgia has a way of being covered up by your mind.
Yes.
Like, there could be an experience you had that really hurt you, but for some reason, 15 years later, you haven't wanted to think about it, and you put it aside, and you overcome it. But when you write your autobiography, what happens is you have to think about those things to write about them. So it's like being in therapy, with a psychiatrist, where every single day you try to think about things that you've covered up or you've hidden, and it's really hard. And I made an outline of some of those things, and at the end of the day, when I finished my autobiography, I felt that I could really say things that maybe would help other people, not just artists, but maybe people overcome some of the things they're going through. And in my art, it's very emotional, and I always feel that I can identify emotionally with my public, and they identify with me. And I'm hoping, as a writer, and this is the first substantial thing I've written. Yeah. There's 4 monographs on me, but I didn't write them. Art historians wrote them. I just had to provide work that I did. So this is the first substantial thing I've written.
It's like your baby.
Yeah, it's my baby. And I wrote in my bio as an autobiographer, an artist and mother. But so I'm hoping that I can help people. Yeah. Like in my foundation, I help artists, and I'm hoping I can help people to overcome their fears. And, fear is terrible. So
that's really powerful. It's a really good powerful reason to want to do something like this and to create such an intricate book about yourself. It's it's amazing. It's more than just you. It's about who you want to touch and who you want to reach out to and make a difference in. So that's really beautiful.
Based on what you just say, you made me think of something I really want to talk about.
Go ahead.
Because, I'm a woman, and I want to reach out to other women. It was so hard to get started in the art world as a woman, and so I do want to reach women also in every field, whether they are in a creative field or they're a writer or they're anything. They could be a bookkeeper or they could be something I don't really know about, but everybody goes through different things in life. I don't think any of us get off scot-free.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I love that. And I guess to wrap up a little bit, what other attributes of the book would you like to further highlight? Something that we didn't talk about. I know we talked about your hardships and you reaching out to women, which is super powerful and beautiful. Is there anything else?
Well, I did interview different people in my life that I think were important and could add something to the book. Friends that they've been out of my life, they came back in my life, friends that I have for 70 so years. I had a little trouble saying that, but I did interview a lot of people in the book, and it was interesting to me to hear what they said about me, and then I wrote a little bit about them, and I think that was.
That's lovely. So you got to connect further on a deeper level with these people that were already in your life.
Yeah.
Did you gain a new perspective from that?
Well, I did, because I was surprised at what they said about me, and they didn't know I was going to print it. Of course, they gave me permission, because after I wrote it, I said, "Is this okay?" And it was interesting to hear what people say about you. And, this is called my hyperrealism life and legacy. So I think when you want to leave a legacy, it's not just what you want to tell people, but how you want to affect people. And I want to share that. People should think about how life is so fleeting. Sometimes you click your eyes and you wonder, did I do that? Did I live all those years? Did I really do that? And then what would you want it to say on your gravestone if you were to die? What do you want to leave behind?
Yeah, that's a very powerful insight, definitely. And I'm sure the people in your life allow us to understand what is it? What are we doing here? What do I want to leave my mark on the world? So to hear that about you is just wonderful. So I want to hear the end of the book. What is something from the end of the book that perhaps encompasses your beliefs or like the overall theme of the book? Is there like a little excerpt that you would like to share?
I'd like to read one or two sentences from the back. I read the first paragraph, and this is page 180. I think the book is only about 182 pages. Nothing in life is guaranteed. We may not be here tomorrow, including the ones we love. Life can change in an instant. Make sure you appreciate what you have while you have it, and always follow your dreams.
Beautiful. I am ecstatic to read this book. So please, Carole, tell everybody where you can get this wonderful book, where everybody's going to pick it up. Tell us all the details.
Sure. Okay, so this book is going to be an audio book. It's a hardcover, it's a soft cover, and it's an ebook. So you can buy it everywhere, of course, but if you buy it on my website, I will personally sign it to you.
Oh my gosh, that's so wonderful. Connecting to your audience on a deeper level. That's so wonderful. You heard it, guys. Carole Feuerman Foundation.org. And on Amazon, the book can be bought, My Hyperrealist Life and Legacy by Carole Feuerman. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast today. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.